Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
First, let's start with what you did first. If money wasn't an issue, they say 82% of us would go back to our very first, tax-paying job.
Okay.
If money wasn't an issue, we'd go back. There's some kind of novelty there. There's some kind of love for that very first job. Yeah.
Okay.
What was your very first paying job? Where was it?
I think we know. They called me the Dilly Bar Queen at the Dairy Queen by my house. And it was a high traffic area. A lot of boys I liked came in. I felt embarrassed because they didn't have me work the till or work the fryer. They were like, you're only good enough to make dilly bars.
So you dip the bar, you let it freeze, you put it in the little baggie.
Which some days, don't you use your brain too much where you're like, I would love a job where I can just do that. I'm not saying it takes brain, like someone without brains. I'm just saying it's mindless work. You're best used somewhere else.
Would you go back if money wasn't an issue to be the Dilly Bar Queen once again?
Probably not.
No.
Probably not. I wasn't able to be my creative self. I wanted to make more red than chocolate. I was trying to prove to them that
cherry's
strawberries
not as popular. Yeah.
Well, is it cherry or
I think
strawberry?
it's cherry.
Maybe that's
who would know more.
I know. So yeah, probably not.
My first job that I actually got a taxable paycheck from was at Hardee's.
Okay.
And I was very good at it, and I did everything actually. I did the cooking, and then I could also work the front register. My favorite, though, was the drive-through. And what had happened is the guy before me, so when shift change, you pull your drawer out. It's got all your money. They give you a fresh drawer so that they can count all the money at the end, right? Well, the guy before me, they had pulled out his drawer, put a new one in, but somehow money was missing, and it was tucked under the drawer. So when they pulled my drawer, my boss called me after my shift. She goes, we're missing $100. And I go, well, why would I ever? Don't you have cameras up in there? Why would I ever steal? No, well, we have to put you on suspension until we figure out what's going on. I go, then this is just my resignation. I'm not going to deal with these people that are going to blame me for this.
Yeah.
And they found it under the drawer, and they called me back. And I said, no, I've already got another job. I moved on. But yeah, what's the movie with Kevin Spacey? Is that American Beauty?
Yeah.
Where he snaps
has had
and goes
enough.
I figure I'm at that point almost every day.
But talking like this, I feel like we're putting down people that work at fast food restaurants.
No.
And I don't
not putting
do
you
that.
down at all. What I'm saying is, if I could wake up every day, go to a job where I just cooked or took orders, didn't have meetings that could be answered with an email, didn't have to wait on people that didn't show up for things, and just win it, and then you leave your job there. Now, I've never had a professional job where I've left the job at the job.
Yeah.
I mean, here, something happens where you're going to take a phone call, a text message, an email. And I don't mind that because I signed up for that. But tell me that wouldn't be a little bit therapeutic at one point to just go to a job where you didn't have to keep doing your job.
It is kind of appealing. But I've always felt okay with being maybe the leader of something or in charge of certain things, like a team.
People follow you, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So if we could take and go back to your first job, number one, what was it? Number two, would you go back? Most of us are saying we would. And I would go back to Hardee's if it meant I made the same salary as I'm doing right now.
Did you say that before? That I would be making the same salary?
Yeah, well, the money isn't an issue.
Making dilly bars?
Yeah. I mean, if you could, if money wasn't an issue, would you go back and do that same job? So I'm the yes. I would go back and I'd flip burgers. Yeah. And I want the drive-through more. I love that interaction. People come up, what's going on? All right, here's your stuff. In $14.85. You have a great day.
See, I don't know if drive-through people know that you have an impact. You have a big impact.
When you smile and give me food,
yes.
What do I want more in life than somebody to smile at me and hand me a bag of food?
You can make someone's day.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hello, Joyce, who worked at Oshkosh Bagosh.
Oh my gosh, that was a store?
Yeah,
I thought that you would just buy Oshkosh at like a Penny's or a Macy's.
She said I would not go back. It got toxic after the managers left. And that's always one thing, that's a big deal when you got some turnover and new people. But like 8 out of 10 of us, if money wasn't an issue, would go back to our first paying job, like the first job you got that took taxes out of your check.
Yeah.
Kat would not go back to the Dairy Queen. I would go back to Hardee's. Kim, where did you work for that first job?
Well, I worked for a family, so I don't consider that being taken out of taxes. But I worked with my grandma catering, and then I also worked with my dad doing dirt work.
Okay, let's go to the catering one. Would you, if you were making the same as you are right now, would you go back to that job?
Absolutely, because my grandma has since passed, but it was a family kind of ran business, and we did Sunday brunches, and it was just good to see the local people coming in for that one.
Yeah.
And I probably would have worked harder because it was my grandma, and I should have probably helped her more.
But you were a jerk
Even though I was
kid.
helping her anyhow. No, I wasn't really a jerk kid. I was helping her as much as I thought I could at that time.
Yeah.
But looking back, I probably could have helped her more.
How about the dirt? Would you want to go back and play in the dirt?
No.
Yes and no, because now I know how to run a skid loader, and I won't have to be the one with the shovel anymore.
You never
So
give a
it was a
direct
life lesson
answer.
that-
Did you know that?
She's Sweden.
You're like, yes
Yeah,
and no. Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't.
I could. Well, I would be more of a boss. How about that?
Oh, sure. You know, you
Instead of
have to
being
make
the one that
decisions if you're a boss.
I would make plenty of decisions working for my dad. For
Then
sure.
again, I wouldn't.
Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't.
I
Who
would.
knows?
It depends on what day it
No,
was, but maybe it
absolutely
didn't.
make more decisions. If I didn't want to do something, I wouldn't do it as much. But
if you did, you would.
So I had to do it. Oh my God, you guys are hilarious.
Thanks, Kim. Have a great day.
I feel like she also does like the questions like, would I go again? Probably.
But maybe not.
But maybe not. Did I like that movie? Maybe.
But sometimes not. But maybe. I don't know.
I need to start talking like that to everybody.
If you start talking like that, I will hurt you.
Would you hurt me?
I would
Probably.
probably, but maybe not.
But would it hurt? Maybe not.
But maybe. Hi, Jan. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful today.
You
Oh, I
sound
love your vibe.
good energy. I like that. So this new survey came out and it said 82% of us, if we got paid the same as that we're getting paid today, would go back and do the first paying job we ever had. So what was your job?
I actually joined the Army Reserve.
Ooh, that was the
And
first time you
I
got a
think-
paycheck.
That's the first time I got a paycheck that had taxes taken out of it.
All right. So would you go back?
I actually just accepted a full-time job with them.
Yay!
And I'm driving to it. This is my first week. I'm driving to it. So, yeah, I love it. I mean, I've had some times in command staff who I can't stand it, but I've got a really good group that I'm working with, and I'm super excited about it, and I love it.
And
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for your service again. And what made you want to go back? What'd you do in between reserve? I'm assuming reserves were early, and then you had maybe a career or a family life, and now you're going back. Is that right?
I worked convenience store. I worked food service. I did manufacturing. I raised 3 children. And now I'm divorced and looking for a different career, and this happened to fall in my lap, and I'm like, let's do it.
Wow.
I love working with soldiers. I love training. So
Plus, you don't have to worry about what you're going to wear every day.
Or anybody seeing you?
I do.
Oh.
What do you mean?
I'm a civilian working for it. So I have to dress professionally.
I was under the impression that you went back into government work. I didn't know you were doing it as a civilian.
It's a civilian position with the government.
Got it.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, I get that.
kind of like working for Social Security.
Yeah, fair enough. And tell me what's your day. I know you're just starting this, but like, what does your day look like today? What will you get to do?
Actually, we're re-imaging some computers today. We're redoing a bunch of forms because the position's been vacant for a couple of years. So I'm really just getting everything organized and set up to take care of these soldiers because they're going out to the field in a little while, and we got to have everything ready to go for them so they can do a good mission.
All right. Well, I'm going to voice a commercial. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to make a yogurt flip.
Oh.
So I have a busy day, too.
I'm going to upload a podcast and get a workout in.
He's going to leave early.
And then,
of course.
Listen, I don't leave early.
You leave
I leave
so
efficiently.
early, right
and then
after the show.
and I'm not going to our jobs anymore because that's super boring. But hey, thanks for sharing with us. This is a fun adventure. Let us know how it goes, okay?
Will do. And hey, let's face it, you do very important things. You put a smile on our faces. We're heading to work.
Oh, God, you don't have to
Just
say
because we
that
make
to
you
us.
feel better about yourself doesn't mean we're doing important work, all
We
right?
know we're losers.
Oh, there's a lot of people who have depression out there, and if you can put a smile on your face,
Well,
You're
listening.
awesome. Thank you.
You deserve better than this. Or maybe you don't.
No, I think we're actually the best in the area. So that's
Thanks,
okay.
Kim. Have a great day.
Bye, Kim.
thank you. Bye.
Jen, I'm sorry, it was Jennifer.
Jen? Oh,
Jen.
we're the worst.
We are. My God, we
can't
suck.
even do that
We
part
can't
of
even
our
remember
job.
her name.
Radio Paparazzi.
There's a new Hulu documentary about him. It's called Life in Pink, where he's detailing a very dark night in July of 2020. And he was mourning the death of his father. His father was committed suicide. He was using drugs. He got on the phone with his girlfriend, Megan Fox. He put a shotgun into his mouth. Then he had a conversation with her and his daughter, and they both were like, listen, like, we need you around.
I want to, see you as my father, and I want to see you as my, husband-to-be. And I was like, I need to kick the drugs for real this time. Kept getting paranoid that someone was going to come and kill me. And then there was this, I would always sleep with this shotgun next to my bed. That was kind of where I started realizing, like, something's not right.
There you go. That's when people that love you the most can show you, you have more to live for. All right, so the day after playing for 200,000 people, Chris Martin was kind of touring the outskirts of London in a town called Bath, where I have stayed overnight. We camped in Bath, and a beautiful, cute little town. And he stopped into a pub with his girlfriend, Dakota Johnson, and just started playing.
What's your name again? Hannah. Jeremy. You're getting married in a minute?
28th of August.
Sky Full of Stars. So now that's going to be their wedding song, which is pretty cool.
And can we just recognize this is why London's a little bit better than America?
Like down to earth or what?
No, what would we do if you put a piano in a bar here? Some jackass would wreck it right away.
They'd switch all the
Somebody
keys.
would take some darts and throw it in there.
Is this somebody you? Like what you did to my computer that one time where you switched all the letters on my keyboard, so F was K and L was O?
That's inaccurate.
All right. The Backstreet Boys, they're getting older. It's really tough to watch as a Backstreet Boys fan because one could be a granddad any minute now. This is Brian Luttrell just talking about watching his bandmates' kids grow.
I have a soon-to-be 20-year-old.
Yeah.
It's,
oh my God, I didn't realize that.
Life is different. Like, I know, right?
Oh, dear God.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's in country music.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a thing to, it's a lovely thing to watch. But as I've seen these guys have kids too, it's just kind of like, oh, you're there now.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Good luck with that.
Good luck.
It's messing with my brain knowing a Backstreet Boy could be a grandfather any second now.
I know, it's wild. Blowing out the candles today, we have Kelly Pickler, y'all, 36. Elon Musk is 51, and Kathy Bates, 74 today.
So weird.
Weird stuff.
Everybody called me weird. I am weird.
You don't think this is a little weird?
No, I don't think it's weird at all.
Weird news.
So there's an argument over mayo. Of all condiments, I would think that maybe ranch.
I'd fight a nun for some sriracha.
Okay, so you're on that tip. This one, though, at an Atlanta subway, things got a little heated when they overserved the mayo.
It was something very senseless. Yes, the too much mayo on a sandwich, but individual with a gun who decided that was the course of action to resolve the conflict. Yes, it's a sandwich, but more importantly, someone who failed to resolve a conflict by just walking away, having a conversation to just reorder a sandwich, decided to take actions into his hands, and now we have families who are devastated.
I know most of us live in areas where we don't have to carry a gun into Subway.
Yeah. To me, it's just the senseless. I can't handle even the smallest inconvenience that I have to choose violence. Okay, so the 26-year-old is dead, and then the 24-year-old woman
died from this,
rushed to surgery. These are sisters that just started weeks ago. The owner said they were very excited to be able to work together. And this guy takes a life, ruins the whole family's world. Jeez. Because he can't handle extra mayo. Do better. That is what's weird.
Let's begin now.
I rolled up to my house yesterday to a bona fide neighborhood emergency.
Why?
And
what happened?
You have never seen this before in your entire life, and it involved my neighbors and an emergency situation. Everybody is fine, but I have never seen this occur in the history of the world, and there's now probably a young man without a way to make any money today.
Oh, no.
Let me tell you about it in a couple of seconds, guys. Welcome into the Playhouse. That's a big part of my yesterday. Plus, the Moped Mofos were in full effect. We rode last night.
Gross. Where'd you go?
We did the whole city, man. I mean, and I found a new bar that I didn't know existed.
Oh.
Yeah, and I want to tell you about it. I'll tell you about it because it was cool, and I think it needs a little bit more...
attention?
No. It was really, really nice, but there was just nobody in there. I think if more people knew about it, they'd go.
Yeah.
So let me turn you on to a new bar here in a couple of seconds. What'd you do yesterday?
We had that meeting via Zoom. I felt like we didn't give him the attention he deserved. I felt like maybe we were all over the place.
You guys, let me set the tone real quick. Kat and I were supposed to have a meeting with a consultant. And I decided to go to my son's baseball game, which started at 11. Our meeting was at noon. So I'm watching the game, and then boom, my watch alerts me, oh my gosh, you got to get on this call.
Yeah.
So I find a place that's a little bit shaded. And I'm sitting there holding the phone in front of my face,
we
watching
can see the players in your sunglasses.
watching the baseball game, giving you 4% of my attention.
I'm rushing home because Derek has to get to work. I am at McDonald's ordering for Liam and a friend, in between listening to whatever clip he had. And then I had to stop and get gas. And then, so I had it blasting. He was blasting throughout where the gas pumps were. So I didn't miss a thing. And then I get in the car, drive home all the while doing this meeting. I was like, thought about it last night. And I go, I feel like we should apologize to him.
Well,
sorry.
Listen, and here's why I think it's probably not that big of a deal to him. Because we really like this consultant. And, I just think that he works with other air talent across the country, other radio people across the country who are far less dialed in than we are. So I think he was probably like, oh, they had a day, right? They were busy. Listen, the other thing, I don't schedule meetings at noon anytime throughout the summer with anybody.
I know.
Because you're unfocused. You're thinking about summer things.
I feel like we should have it just right away at 10 o'clock for a half hour. Let's talk to him.
Or, hey, let's catch up in September.
Yeah. We're good. We're talking airdropping a picture of you waiting. This guy got
so weird.
Escorted off a flight from Detroit to Denver on Saturday. So airdropping is very dangerous, especially if you're on a plane. They will find you because there's only like 200 of you.
I'm talking to this guy. We're just making friends. And I say to him, oh my God, I just got an airdrop from Larry's iPad. And so I accept it. And there it was. It was a picture of like a woman's face and like a little bit of pee-pee at the bottom. And I look over and I said, are you Larry? And he said, yes, I am. Did you mean to send me this? And he said, yes, I did.
Oh my God.
And I said, are you sending it to everybody? And he said, yes, I am. So we do think he has like a kink and like he's totally going to like think about it, lead into it. The plane lands and Larry gets escorted off, and then I actually don't know if anything happened to him. We were told he's probably getting arrested.
Oh my God. And he's exactly what you would picture as a Larry. Overweight, white hair, big belly, short shorts, long white socks. And then his little pee-pee at the bottom of the photo. I love how she described that. So I want to know, and we're going to use emojis to describe how you would respond to Larry if he airdropped you a picture of himself, all right? So what is your first emoji? I would use, because it's hilarious, the magnifying glass.
Funny.
It would send the message like,
good one.
You didn't impact me, bruh. Gross.
I would...
Are you going through yours?
Yeah, I'm just trying to look at what I think is the best. And I think I would use...
Laughing while crying?
Well, I would use the face palm. That's probably where I would go.
Like, what a mistake.
The face palm or the puke one. I like the green puke one. That one's pretty good, too.
I like the why. Why? Arms up. So what emoji would you use?
I might use the salute. The army salute guy.
He was saluting you. You salute him right back. All right. What emoji are you using to send back to Larry after he airdrops a photo of himself while you're on a flight? Oh, brother, because that is what's trending. There was an ambulance situation where there were two ambulances. We had ambulances.
Ambulance I.
Ambulance I. That's not it. But also a fire truck, two cops, and it was all because this woman had fainted. So I'm like, a little
They were all first responders.
But
well, I think the call goes out and you get there as soon as you can.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, as I rolled up into my hood yesterday, the drama. So I live at the end of the cul-de-sac. Across the street from me, my neighbor Jack has a very aggressively inclined driveway, probably like a good 30-degree incline.
Mm-hmm.
As I pull into my neighborhood, there's my daughter standing in a pair of booty shorts and a sports bra with her hands on her hips like Superman watching. Doing? And I'm like, aren't you supposed to be at work or doing something? Like, you know?
She was.
No. What had happened is the kid that was driving, you know, the blue Amazon trucks, the vans?
Yeah.
That's, and I don't know if it's who makes it, but they sit kind of low. He had went to drive up their driveway and the front end scraped.
Oh, no.
And their front wheel drive vehicles.
Yeah.
And the two front wheels came off the ground as the bumper rose up and the wheels just sat there spinning.
Oh,
he couldn't get in or out. So
it was off the ground. The front was off the ground.
The front wheels were off the ground at the bottom of the driveway, which had such a slope.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where, so here's how my daughter found out. She's upstairs and our dog is going buck wild.
Yeah.
This poor kid, this Amazon driver, couldn't have been 25 years old. Mm-hmm. He's frazzled. He's knows for sure he's losing his job today. He's got to get the package to my neighbor's front step. So apparently the package gets there and my neighbor Jack was home, but between Jack and his sons and my daughter, apparently they tried to like stack wood under the wheels so they could get some traction and get off.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Jack has like an electric powered SUV, had to tie tow ropes to the frame of his SUV and pull out the truck. Or the Amazon van.
Yeah.
I drive a truck, and as I'm pulling in, my daughter goes, now you're here. And I go, that's the nicest way to ever get welcomed into your own home. Is she's just going, no, you're here. Number one, I go, put on some clothes. And then number two, what's going on here? Oh, this guy went and he got his Amazon truck stuck in the neighbor's driveway, and everybody was looking for you. I go, did anybody call?
You're the only one that owns a truck?
I think I am in the neighborhood, right? Like my other neighbor's got this awesome Corvette. He's not pulling it out with that thing.
No.
My other neighbor's got like a Toyota, a little car. He's not pulling it out with that. And eventually they get the truck pulled out. And this kid, his shoulders were slouched. His head was down. Just getting in the vehicle thinking, I got to finish my last route ever.
Yeah.
Because they are going to light me up.
I'm sure the break room was all abuzz.
I felt so bad for him, but that was the big drama in my hood.
Wow.
Yesterday.
Put some clothes on.
The entire time, that dog. I wish my dog lost its voice.
Yeah. So I watched this video. It's so funny. It's like I have never had that morning commute where you get so frustrated. It is 3:30 when I'm driving in, dark, nobody on the road.
Yeah,
so
I see like 3 people.
I don't deal with this. But this Florida deputy had to pull over after getting multiple calls last week of seeing this driver that was just like, screw it, I'm taking the sidewalk.
Deputies in Sarasota responded after calls that a car was repeatedly driving down a sidewalk to avoid rush hour traffic. Deputies set up a sting and were waiting Tuesday when the car did it again and unknowingly drove right up to a waiting deputy. That driver got a ticket and a lecture about dangerous driving.
Oh my God. It was so funny to watch because it's like the size of maybe like a Geo Metro, that kind of size car. So it fit on the sidewalk. And he's like, I'm not waiting in traffic. But
here was the thing. He got away with it for a few days.
Yeah.
And then the next time he's like, oh, I got it licked. I got this system beat.
Yeah.
And he's driving down the sidewalk and the cop's just standing there like Superman.
I know. He's like, I can't go in the carpool lane because it's just me. And so I was just like, what an idiot. Have you ever had to carpool with anybody? Like when you had a normal job?
Well, not carpool. I remember getting rides with people when I was in high school. I mean, I didn't grow up rich like you did. I didn't have a car. And so I'd have to get rides with people all the time. But the worst was getting a ride with my grandma Fran because she believed that the mile-and-a-half drive to school, she had to get through at least a pack of cigarettes during that time. And then...
is it like an old school cartoon where she has 12 in her mouth?
It was, man, I don't know, but I remember her pulling up to our driveway.
Yeah.
And I'd always sit in the back, so my cousin Jason would sit in the front. He'd get picked up first. So
Shotgun.
He's a little bit closer to lung cancer than I am, I think.
Sure.
And I would get in the back, and it would be in the winter. And it wasn't steam coming out of the car because it was so warm, but it was the smoke. It was like a Cheech and Chong episode.
She hotboxed
the car all the way to school. And nobody thought twice about it because I remember getting out of the car and pulling cologne out of the breast pocket of my leather jacket to have to spray on me to have people think that I wasn't, pounding 3 heaters on the way to school. But she would I mean, I'm telling you, it had to be at least 3 or 4 cigarettes.
I feel
in
so
a mile.
bad.
And I was so grateful just to have a ride because it was 27 below wind chill.
Yeah.
And thanks, Grandma, for the ride. See you tomorrow. And I'm like, oh God, it was just. I mean, and she would nonstop. I mean, and this was when they had the push button lighter still in the car.
Yeah.
She would start smoking a cigarette and she'd hit the lighter again so that it was ready for when she got done with it because she didn't want to go an extra block without a doobie.
Dang.
It was
what a story. Sometimes we've worked so long together that sometimes you tell a story. I'm
Franny loved the heater.
That sounds nice. All right.
Nope.
Have you ever had to carpool with anybody? I would love to open this up for people that carpooled this morning because you're obviously at the same job together.
Well, and I think more and more people are doing it now, especially with gas being at $5 a pop.
I feel like if you're a cook, if you are responsible for serving people food, you have a really big responsibility. Like people trust you to bring them food that is meant for humans, not for dogs. Listen to what happened at this Airbnb. This hostess served spaghetti.
I used to work for Airbnb. I have horror stories. My favorite was she made us spaghetti, and I was like, oh, well, that's really nice of her. The only problem is it tasted really weird, and then we checked the garbage. Oh, no. We couldn't find any canned ground beef or canned ground meat or any like styrofoam packaging for ground meat. We did find an empty can of dog food, though. The amount of reviews that I had to look over and the people praising her welcome spaghetti was drama.
Can you imagine looking through all the spaghetti was just delicious. She's like, I'm on to something.
I think most people would never notice.
Isn't there blood in dog food? There's blood in dog food.
There's all sorts of stuff in dog food.
I don't know what I would do. That's crazy. Have you ever eaten dog food? I feel like you'd be the one to try it.
I did.
For your friends.
Yeah. We were trying to think of whose house. It was just like a high school friends. And there was one. We used to throw these field parties all the time because I grew up in a really rural area.
Yeah.
And they would have these parties. And I was staying over at his place. I'd gone there after the party. There was one of those, I dare you, $10 if you did. Because he had a bigger dog and they had the wet dog food that was in the can. Mm-hmm. And they would just... And it would go into the bowl.
Yeah.
It was $10. You take a spoon of that. No problem.
Oh, gross.
It wasn't bad.
I did try a little bit of a bacon strip. I'm not going to lie. I was like, I wonder if it tastes like bacon. I love bacon. It had like the aftertaste, like on the back of your tongue, like bacon, but it was like a very chalky. Bacon. I love bacon. So I want to know who out there.
What brings you to that low moment in your life where you're like, is anybody looking? I'm going to have a bacon strip.
You know, I sought it out. It wasn't even just like sitting on a counter somewhere, and I was like, I should try it. I said to my cousin Anna, I go, hey, do you have any bacon strips? She's like, actually, I do. I go, for some reason, I've always wanted to see if it actually tastes like bacon. So I've stooped. Have you stooped? Maybe you were at a point where, listen, I know that meat is very expensive. I'm the grocery shopper in the family. And you just had to find a substitute for your spaghetti.
I had my very first morning show. I sent an intern down with some of the like queso that you can buy that's got the little chunks in it. You know what I mean? Okay. Like meat chunks in it. It's like
chorizo.
Is that what it's called?
Like,
but it was in a glass jar.
Okay.
And I bought 3 of these, and I had them pour them into a bowl, and they had the little meat chunks in them. I can't remember what it's called.
Okay.
But then I had him get a bag of tortilla chips. And in the city I was working in, they had a lot of Skyways. And so he set up, at first I had him dressed in a suit, and then he had the earpiece in so we could hear everything that was going on.
Yeah.
And I just had a sign made that said, free samples. And so he'd stand there with a bag of chips, and people would come by, oh, what do you got going on here? Oh, we're testing a new product on the market. Yeah. And they would take a chip, and they would dip it, and they'd be like, this is really good. And his response, the only response he could say was, I'm glad you like it. It's the first dog food that's made acceptable for humans that we've mixed in here. And these people lost their mind.
You do not tell somebody after the fact when it's in their body what's going on.
And when it went down was some dude, and there was a Gold's Gym that was right across the street. So he had parked in the parking ramp, was coming across, stops. He's getting ready for his workout. He's probably got 3 scoops of pre-workout in him. And I remember my intern goes, not this guy, not this guy, not this guy.
Yeah.
Like he's saying it under his breath just in the studio. And I go, you have to say it. After everybody takes a chip, you have to say, this is the first FDA-approved dog food for humans.
Oh, my God. Did this guy even have a neck?
This guy raged. So we have just a cardboard, like a table, a small, like 2x2 table there set up. And he ate it, and he's like, really good. What is this? And he goes, it's the first FDA-approved dog food for humans. And he did one of those,
flip of the table.
This sauce crap, it went everywhere. It was all over the side of the Skyway thing, the window. There's chips everywhere. So my intern bails. He's like, I'm not going to get beat up for this, right?
Yeah.
He's got it all over his suit. I got to pay his dry cleaning bill. My wife's mad because our card table got left behind. You know what I mean? But it made for some great audio. But again, people don't want to be eating dog food.
No, they don't. That's trickery.
Laura, do you?
Okay, we had this bulldog, and it had to be on the special food, and it was shaped real weird. It was like real long and shaped like a crescent moon.
Oh, no.
Okay.
So I dipped some of that in chocolate because I was making chocolate-covered strawberries.
Of course.
And gave it to my 4-year-old, and I was like, go tell Daddy to try this and see what he thinks.
Oh, no.
So she ran off, and he ate it. And he was like, it's kind of dry and tastes funny.
Oh, my God. See, that's not a funny trick. Like, it has to be my decision to try dog food or a vegan strip.
It's a victimless crime.
Is it really, though?
I don't think it can hurt you, right?
It's really gross.
Like a vegan strip isn't going to hurt you.
It's more so the trick. You know, people don't want to feel tricked, duped.
Imagine going to an Airbnb and somebody cooks you dinner with dog food.
I used to work for Airbnb. I have horror stories. My favorite was she made us spaghetti, and I was like, oh, well, that's really nice of her. The only problem is it tasted really weird, and then we checked the garbage. We couldn't find any canned ground beef or canned ground meat or any like styrofoam packaging for ground meat.
By the way, if you think it tastes weird, you have two options. You chase that with a soda, a beer, something like that, and forget about it. It's the same as when you think your husband's cheating on you. You can forget about it.
Good equation.
Or you can pursue it knowing what you're going to find at that point.
We did find an empty can of dog food, though. The amount of reviews that I had to look over and the people praising her welcome spaghetti was trauma.
I can't imagine. You just want to say something so badly. But I've never, wanted to take a spoonful of wet dry food. Wet dog food, I mean.
I've done that. And it didn't.
Gross.
It was a drunken dare, like a bet, and it wasn't that bad.
$10?
Yeah, it was $10, man. $10 is $10.
I guess.
Done a lot worse. So you ever tried the dog food? Now, Bethany, you're all about this action, right?
If I would season it, I would have me a whole bowl of it.
Jesus.
Splash a little bit of soy sauce maybe in it too. But it's just white meat chicken, rice, barley, sweet potato, or carrot.
It's made for a dog, though.
It's not all the time that fresh and good ingredients like that. There are other things worked in.
Do you know? Here's where I think things gone wrong on this. Is we as humans will lay our dish down and let our dog finish it. So we think at one point, that can go the other way too. But it's not.
You know what? I shouldn't knock these people because I did eat lamb. I had street meat in New York.
That's probably worse for you. That's not lamb. That's rat.
It was delicious. I'll say that.
The seasoning was delicious.
I didn't even question it. I grabbed my gyro and I started walking and eating.
I'm willing to bet if we did a complete honest, you could never get in trouble for it and you could stay anonymous for the rest of your life. Bet of what percentage of our listeners own a dog and a child and have actually given the child a piece of dog food to see if they would eat it and notice it.
Yeah.
I bet you we're at a 40% clip.
Probably.
I bet you 40% of parents have given their child dog food to see if they would eat it.
Well, probably 60% now have the idea to do it. Free dental care event is coming to St. Cloud next month. The goal is to have up to 2,000 people get a range of services, cleanings, extractions, filling, cavities, and other dental care will be offered. Mouth care is so important.
Take advantage of this, guys.
Yeah, we saw with one of our listeners, mouth care went out of hand quite quickly. quickly, and her whole face like bruised after the services that she had to get. So make sure that you get in and take advantage of this. The Minnesota Mission of Mercy group is going to be at Rivers Edge Convention Center coming up July 29th and 30th. Volunteers are needed to make this thing go smoothly. So if you are in dental school, this would be a really cool opportunity for you to volunteer at. To make an appointment as well, find the link on our website. Just type in keyword news, go to the local tab. The Supreme Court ruled yesterday that a high school football coach who knelt and prayed on the field after games was protected by the Constitution.
What's shocking about this decision is the way it ignores the reality of a coach's power over his student.
How do you know whether students are joining voluntarily as opposed to having to go along to get along, recognizing that they better pray if they want to play?
That's a good point. I think a lot of kids would feel that pressure to go along with that, but that's up to the coach to make sure everybody feels comfortable.
Here's the other thing. If you don't trust your player's coach, then get your son or daughter off the field.
Yeah.
That's just the thing. You have to trust these people to not be a bad influence. How do you know if they're influencing your kid in any other way? There's a level of trust that you just have to have.
Also, retaliation is very identifiable. When you see it, you know it, and then you can kind of link it. Can you prove it, though, is the other part. All right, so a study shows that men and women should work out at different times of the day for the best impact. So here you go.
So this study found that for women, it is better to work out in the morning if you're trying to reduce your visceral adipose tissue, so that's dangerous belly fat, lower your blood pressure, and increase body strength. Men, evening workouts are better for weight loss, they're better for reducing blood pressure, and they're supposedly better emotionally.
So you do the afternoon, right?
Yeah, it's the only time that really works. I mean, sometimes I'll try and get one in. Like yesterday morning, I worked out before the show, and it was fine. The weird part is like I don't want to drop the dumbbells, or anything like that, because it makes so much noise in our house. And I want my wife and daughter and son are sleeping. And the other thing is I don't want to hit the treadmill because it's really, really loud. You know what I mean? Like, so it's one of those things that it's convenience for my family. But
those are my reasons too.
Afternoons work best for me.
All right. So in sports during a game, we get this all the time where I have a mouth on me. Okay, I say a lot of swears daily, and some people say, "How can you be in the business you're in and not let one fly?" Sometimes it just happens.
And the pitch. Oh, been hit him. Oh, my goodness. Bryce Harper gets hit.
I mean, when I seen that ball let loose, you could tell it was
Harper's in some real pain, and he's screaming right now, and he's yelling at Blake Snell.
That was a natural reaction as an announcer.
That was pretty real.
Radio Paparazzi.
I'll get to that in a second. On Sunday, Los Angeles police, they clashed with protesters during an abortion rights demonstration on the interstate, by the way. Several people were smashed in the face with their batons and pushed to the ground, including that Full House star, Jodie Sweetin, who is Stephanie Tanner.
I'm good, and I think above all, I want to continue to not make this about me and to continue to bring the focus back to women's rights and also police brutality. You know, if people are disturbed by what they saw, let me tell you, I've spent a lot of time protesting out in the streets, and that is a very minor incident of police brutality.
They were also trying to get traffic back going.
I'm really torn here because I really do believe in the right to assemble, but I also believe that if that's endangering others, then you got to find a way to peacefully protest. You know what I mean? You got to find a way to get your message across without being in the interstate where, number one, you can get killed. Somebody else slams on their brakes. And then if I have to slam on my brakes and the person behind them slams on their brakes and somebody back there, a mom and a kid, get in a car accident and they die, then what are you doing, man?
I know. Your message really does get lost when you cause that chaos. It's more so you standing there and yelling what the message is that I feel is more impactful.
Also, with social media right now, do you think your time and efforts could be better spent to get your message across to maybe thousands instead of dozens?
Yeah.
That way? I don't know. I'm just saying, do whatever. Assemble, and you have a right, absolutely. But you got to make sure that it's peaceful and that nobody's going to get hurt.
So I think Tommy Lee, the rock star, tried to keep it under wraps. So he broke his ribs. He did that show where he had to walk off. Remember that?
He did like
a couple
3
of weeks
songs,
ago.
right?
And he's like, listen, guys, I broke my ribs. Wish I had a better story for you. His wife now, Brittany Ferlin, is telling the story of how he broke his ribs.
The day that we were leaving Nashville, we had all this luggage, and Tommy was trying to carry all of our luggage for us. And he fell down these crazy stairs and broke 4 ribs. Not fractured, not bruised, broke.
So I think one of the most well-done shows is Pam and Tommy.
I've
Truly.
still never watched
If
an
you
episode.
haven't seen it, you are missing out. It is so good. And it's very like Seth Rogen-y, you know, like the way he directs it and stars in it. It's so good. I suggest you watch it now with kids at home. Charles Barkley's inability to grasp technology is just too obvious in this video.
Excuse me, can you take a video of me right now?
What do you need me to do?
Just hold that, just hold it facing. Thank you. Okay.
Wait, can I get in myself in it?
Want to do a selfie?
I want to do a selfie.
Do a selfie.
I'm not in the picture right now. So how do I make this work for me? I want both of us to be in it. This is a TikTok?
This is a TikTok.
I want to do a TikTok where we both in it.
We got this.
Okay, we got it?
We got this.
It's painful to watch, like when you give your grandparents the phone to take a picture of you, but it's just their face.
But here's
like
the difference. Like, this is one of the greatest basketball players ever to live. Throw him a mulligan if he doesn't know how to do a TikTok, will you?
Yeah.
He spent his entire life putting a ball in a hoop. That's what he does well.
I think he had some wild turkey that night, too. He looked a little out of it.
My man.
Blowing up the candles today, we have John Cusack turning 56. Mary Stuart Masterson is 56. And Mel Brooks turning 96 today. So the guitarist for LA Guns is it Tim Gunn? No, that's the guy from.
That's the guy from
Javi the Zane Project Runway. Good start, Kat. Good start. Anyway, he had a massive panic attack. They're in the middle of their show, okay, and it just comes on, and so they're like, instead of just having him leave, we need him. Let's have him do it from the bathroom.
Here. Look out, guys. God, he's going to walk out.
So I to watch somebody go through that, if you've never gone through it, and I don't have panic attacks often. I think I've had 2 my whole life. And it's as bad as I have ever felt.
What does it feel like?
It feels like all the air in the room is gone. And you're just like grasping for air, and you can't I don't know how to explain
What was the scenario when you had your last one?
The first one was when I was introing a band at a casino. And what happens is now they give you like little bullet points on your phone, so you can pull it up and read it on your phone. You're not like fumbling with papers. Where before, remember where they would give us like 4 papers, okay? And then it's light. You come out, hey, everybody, how's it going? You know, thanks for coming out. You're going to enjoy the show tonight. And then you have pages of promotions that the casinos want you to mention. But what happens is the spotlight, when it hits you, goes through the pages.
Blinding.
All the print from all the other pages, it literally looks like the words are like it's a Mad Hatter like movie.
Yeah.
And I lost my breath like I used to.
Yeah,
no, this was me by myself.
Wow, what'd you do?
I looked down and there's this, I'll never forget it, this older man that must have gotten his tickets through like the rewards program with the casino.
Because he didn't belong at that concert.
And he looks at me and he just does a...
Oh, he felt sorry for you.
He did like the down with his mouth, like, girl, you got this. You can do this.
So did you just bail?
No, I just kind of went to the last page and put the pages down so the light wasn't shining through. And then I got backstage and I went into the bathroom and I was like, I am so embarrassed. I must have been like 23, maybe 24. I was so embarrassed. I was like, I don't know how to explain what happens to your body, but it's a serious thing.
Let's do this. Will you call real quick if you've had panic attacks, and what did it feel like?
What led to it? Like, what were you panicking about?
Yeah, I've never been through one of these. I've always been in a situation where if it gets really stressful or overwhelming, I make a funny, or people have that fight or flight.
Yeah.
I have so much of one, and I have literally 0 of the other one.
Yeah.
I could be in a room of 50 people that wanted to beat me up, and I would try and fight my way out versus running.
I would say 92% of my time is like that. And then the other 8% happen in front of a massive crowd. But I've definitely gotten better. The last 5 years, it's fine.
Do you remember the band you were introing when you had your last panic attack?
Maybe Earth, Wind, and Fire. I feel like maybe that was it. It was like an old school. But it was not a good feeling at all. I think I more so had the panic attack of like so many things were going through my head. What were people thinking? How did I look? You've witnessed me lose my breath in front of people. It's not a good feeling because I just don't know how to.
Well, and it's very weird because like when we have to do something together, usually we'll portion out. I'll say this until here, and then you say this, and then we'll kind of back and forth and volley it a little bit. And then I remember, I think it was Brett Michaels we were introducing, and I remember being like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And I kind of fired up the crowd, and then I look at Kat, and she goes, "So thanks for being here."
Okay, that's a bit dramatic.
But it was this like big breath, and to me, it felt like you couldn't catch your breath.
That's what used to happen. And now, like, for about 5-6 years, I've been good, but it's like.
And I got that look from her, like, you got to take it from here. So I'm like, all right, boom, boom. And I pound it out. And then I'm like, you ready? And she's like, Brett Michaels, everybody.
I think we all know, like, when I get to introduce male review shows and stuff, those are just like in the bag because the women are in a great mood.
So were you maybe nervous? Was there not a comfort level there, do you think?
Yeah, maybe I saw too many people, Normally with the spotlight, you can't see anybody.
Oh,
but
I love being able to look at who's looking at you. That's what
I just remember losing my breath, and then I'm like, I feel like I'm going to die.
Ashley, how often do you have panic attacks or, kind of lose your breath like this?
I've had one in my life, and it was awful.
What happened?
Describe it, yeah.
Well, so I was in college, and we had been working for about 3 months on this presentation for a school organization that I was a part of, and it was a competition where we did some market research. We had to come up with a plan, and I had my part of this presentation down for weeks before the competition, and there was 5 of us in our group that had to go and present, and when we got in front of the judges, we had no idea who the judges were supposed to be. Yeah. And we found out that they were true representatives from the company that we had been doing market research for.
Pressure's on.
And I froze. And I had done public appearances and spoken in front of thousands of people in the past. So it wasn't being nervous of talking in front of people. I don't know exactly what it was. If it was just the pressure of these high-end executives being there and critiquing our presentation and our plan, but it felt like 1,000 needles were just poking me, and I just froze.
You just stood there. Did your classmates bail you out?
They eventually realized what was happening, and so they did bail me out. But it was like when you see when you're watching a movie and it's like the guy or the girl, they don't know how to talk to the opposite gender, and they just kind of fumble over their words and make awkward noises. I'm pretty sure that's what I look like.
I've made that a career.
It's very odd to watch, but I'm glad that you've only had it once. Do you feel like there would be another situation, or are you equipped if you were in that particular one?
It's hard to say if it would ever happen again because I didn't expect it the first time. But, I've been out of college now for about 15 years, and it hasn't happened again. So,
I think that's one of the things that's amazing about the human being is that if there's something traumatic that happens, a lot of times we can adapt to make sure that it doesn't happen again, right? We're very adaptable creatures. And it doesn't always happen, right? But I would assume that you probably have felt like, oh my gosh, this had enough trauma on it that I'm going to get past it next time it happens, or I'm equipped to deal with it.
Right, absolutely. We always learn from our past experiences.
Yeah. Did you guys, how'd you guys do on the presentation to wrap this up?
Well, I guess we didn't win, but that's okay.
But valuable life lesson.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I took something away from it.
Thanks, Ashley. I hope you have a great day today.
An Isanti man was killed after being trampled by his horse on Sunday at an event at the MAC. The 44-year-old was leading a team of Clydesdale draft horses and a carriage across the parking lot. Just before 2:30, he was using a lead to guide the animals when he lost control of them, and one ran over the top of him, dragged the carriage onto the golf course at the north end of the parking lot, and then only stopping because it got hooked on a tree. Transported to St. Cloud Hospital by ambulance, and the guy had passed away because of his injuries. What a tragic way to go. 3 people are dead and at least 50 are injured after an Amtrak train derailed yesterday in Missouri.
Preliminary investigation indicates an Amtrak passenger train traveling to Chicago, Illinois, struck a dump truck. 7 cars have derailed. There are multiple injuries, and we can confirm there are 3 fatalities. The train had approximately 207 passengers as well as crew members.
Can you imagine just taking a train and then the entire thing rolling over? But I can't believe that the intersection didn't have any warning lights or motion going off.
I bet if you talk to any conductor, they would tell you about hundreds of intersections that they're concerned with that have no way of warning anybody.
And now they have to live with that. I mean, it's a tough job. A video of a futuristic flying hotel. I watched it. Watch the promo. I don't know if I'm that adventurous to go on something like that. So this thing will never land. It is like a hotel in the air.
Its 20 electric engines are powered solely by clean nuclear energy. The hotel never runs out of fuel and can remain suspended in the air for several years without ever touching the ground.
That is crazy. That's it. Isn't that a wild concept? And normally when they mock up a promo like that, it looks fake. You know, they have like fake people walking through, but they have it mocked up where it looks like it's actually a thing.
I don't know if I get the benefit.
I don't know if I get it.
What's the difference between staying there and staying at Holiday Inn Express?
How many thousands of feet above us having your
wedding?
Can't go outside? No.
You can't? Do they got a pool?
Yeah.
Does the ice machine work?
They have everything. They have a theater. They have a movie theater. They have an event center.
I don't know.
They have rooms for you to stay in. I think it's more of a novelty situation, but to be up there for 2 years just doing what? Yeah, exactly.
Like, how do you get off? Like, you just want to all of a sudden,
parachute
what if you
down.
want to leave?
Listen to this mom trying to explain. And I think we all have this moment where we look at our kids and we're like, God, you really don't know what this is. Her daughter found a cassette tape.
Cleaning out the basement. I've got some of my childhood boxes out here, and my daughter says this. What did you just ask me?
It looks like some ancient history storyteller.
Ancient history. This is a cassette tape.
Ouch.
This is how we used to listen to music and how we recorded music from the radio. This is how we saved Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
You're dead serious. You don't know what this is?
No. It looks like you shake it or something.
No, it probably has all my favorite songs from the radio.
You like pull it or something?
No, you have to put it in a cassette player.
Oh my God. No worse feeling than pressing record and play like 10 seconds too late because you ran to the bathroom and then your DJ played.
So weird. I never did any of that.
You didn't? Oh, I did it all the time. At sleepovers, we'd be like, yeah, I swear this new one's going to come out. He said it's going to play. Now being a DJ. Yeah, it's on the way. I shouldn't say that too loud. Nobody heard me. I have not. I did not agree with people that call themselves Americans and they said, if this person beats out this person, I'm leaving. I'm going to Canada.
Well, after the Roe versus Wade decision just the other day, Billie Joe Armstrong, lead singer of Green Day, was performing overseas and is like, I'm done with America.
America, I'm renouncing my citizenship. I'm
Listen, I'd say I'm a bigger Green Day fan than most folk.
Mm-hmm.
But, Billie Joe, being the incredible patriot you've been and what you've done for our country, don't let the door hit you in the ass.
Yeah, thank you so much for putting your life on the line. I don't agree with that. I think I love...
Then go. You don't have to tell everyone you're going. Then just go.
I love people that are patriotic in the right way, that you know what the flag stands for, and you don't want to flee or run when it gets hot in the kitchen.
What you have to understand is that not everything's gonna be the way you want it to be, right?
I know. And doesn't that just sound like a tantrum? Like, if you think of saying that, like, just do it. You don't have to announce to everybody that if things don't go your way, that you're just going to
take your ball and go home.
Exactly.
Kat, the following celebrities have all threatened to leave the country at one time or the other.
Whoopi's got to be one of them.
Whoopi is in there. We'll get to her in a second. Right. The following celebrities have all threatened to leave this great union of states. But they haven't. They're still living here.
No.
I want you to try and figure out why they decided they were going to leave.
Okay.
All right, well, let's start with Whoopi. She said she's going to leave if what happened?
If Trump was reelected.
Right. She's still here.
I remember that.
Miley Cyrus once said, I am moving. I don't say things I don't mean if this happens. By the way, she's still a resident of the United States of America.
I don't say things I don't mean.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
She's like, I am moving if this happens.
Okay. If I can't wear denim and denim.
No, it was the Trump thing again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Aren't
Actually,
they all Trump things?
let me. Yeah, I can lump a lot of these together with the Trump thing.
The one I do know that's not a Trump thing is Taraji P. Henson. She wants to leave. And, people that deal with racism on a daily basis and they can't live their lives to the fullest because of the color of their skin. I see the frustration and I feel for people that have to deal with that on a daily basis. It's not right.
The following people said, if Trump wins the election, I'm leaving and I'm never coming back. Raven Simone.
Yeah, she's still here.
Still lives here. Amy Schumer.
She's in New York.
She still lives here. Cher.
She's in L.A.
Samuel L. Jackson.
He said that, really?
He said, if Trump wins, I'm leaving the country.
I feel like he wouldn't say something like that. But
Bryan Cranston. He also said
I
it
feel
about
like he
Trump.
wouldn't say something like that.
Lena Dunham said it. She's still here.
Yeah.
Neve Campbell, still here.
Mhm.
Barbara Streisand, still here. Chelsea Handler, still here.
Yeah.
Keegan-Michael Key, still here. Now, remember when John McCain was running?
Yeah.
Susan Sarandon hated him so much, she said, if he gets elected, I'm leaving.
Okay.
Luckily for her, he never made it.
Yeah. I feel
Eddie-
like she would have stayed anyway.
One of my favorite bands of all time, Pearl Jam. Eddie Vedder said, if George W. Bush is elected, I'm leaving the country.
Uh-huh.
He never left.
Now he's dead, right?
Rush Limbaugh said if Obamacare passed, he was leaving America. Then guess what happened?
He stayed.
Obamacare passed, and he kept his radio show until he died.
Yeah.
And finally, if Barack Obama is elected president of the United States, I will leave forever. Who said that, do you think? Popular actor.
A popular actor
Well,
or
yeah.
actress?
Actor.
Oh my God, I don't know. John Travolta.
Stephen Baldwin.
Oh. That was a trick.
Popular-ish.
All right.
All right. So here's what I wanted to do. I just want your first thought. What would be the thing, if it happened this summer, that would anger you so much, that would cause you to actually leave this great country of ours with the freedoms we have? Now, I'm not saying it's perfect.
Yeah.
Please don't get me wrong. America's not perfect, and we're continuing to grow and continuing, I hope, to get better. There are always some struggles, and that's what makes the perseverance creates a victory on the other end.
As sensitive as I feel the generation after me is, they also are the most open-minded.
For sure.
And I think that
Accepting.
is a brighter future. So it'll be good.
Is there anything on your radar that could happen that would make you say, I'm leaving? I'm moving to Canada. I'm moving to Europe. I'm moving to Australia. I'm moving to Brazil.
I would say grocery prices. I mean, if they continued, no,
Shut up.
I'm serious.
You're
like
such a poser.
for some families, to hear like some of the families I know with 6 people, 4 kids, and 2 adults, and how it's gone up by about $600, $700 a
I'm
month.
saying for you, if you woke up tomorrow, could there be an event so serious in our country that it would make you just say, I'm grabbing my family and we're going somewhere else?
Take away Christmas. If they take away the holidays.
Who's they?
The government.
So if the government bans Christmas
Yes.
and Easter and the 4th of July, if they put a ban on all the holidays, you would leave America?
If we just have
You're a liar.
days, if we just have days throughout the holidays, and I know that Canada is celebrating all of the holidays that I love, I'd be out of here. I'd be like, you can't take away people's spirit. Like around the holidays, people have like a better way of thinking, feeling, living life.
All right, so that's where you draw the line.
Yeah. And so you take away my holidays, I'm going to Canada.
Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day said after Roe v. Wade came down, he told everybody he was going to renounce his citizenship. And I went through this list of celebrities who said, I'm leaving America if blankety blank happens. Now, the majority of these people said if Trump gets elected, I'm bouncing. Trump got elected, they're all still here.
Yep. The same-sex situation. A lot of couples, including Kristen Bell and, when Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were together, Pink, they wouldn't get married until same-sex was legalized. Somebody
And that's
texted,
fine. That's fine. You're holding out your thoughts and your rights. I
if
get that.
marriage equality gets set back and it becomes illegal again for same-sex couples to get married. God, that would be very weird to go backwards on that. It's like
But that's the way a lot of people feel about Roe versus Wade, right?
I know. It's very weird that got overturned. It's
I think what you have to understand is I think they're just the majority of the thought behind that is that that's not a national platform. That's more of a state-by-state thing. And I think that's the way that's headed. My favorite, though, is Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam, who goes, if George W. Bush gets elected, I'm leaving America. That was a long time ago, and he's done many, many concert tours since then and made millions and millions of dollars off Americans and still lives in Chicago.
Terry texted, nothing could make me leave. I love my country. I'd protect her. That's how I truly feel that way about our country. Rachel said, my trigger to leave if schools were to end desegregation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's again another
pretty messed up.
That's such a giant step backwards. You would think that could not happen. Right?
I'm going to venture to say it will not happen. I mean, what an uproar. If we thought anything was bad 2 years ago, I mean, it would be insanity.
What would make you leave?
I don't know if it would be any one thing specifically, but I'm a mom of two girls, and I feel like if things got more intrusive as far as like their future and their reproductive health, and more intrusive as far as like their relationships in the future, I feel like that would be the end of our living in this country. We've already, just with what happened with the whole Roe v. Wade thing, we've already started looking into what countries would be closest to our living, to our current living conditions.
So you've already explored leaving after what just happened over the last 72 hours.
Yeah.
And to me, that's bananas. Like, my family's here, my job's here. Leaving is...
You know we're number 20 on the best places to live in the world?
As far as countries?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Spain, South Korea, France, Singapore, Ireland, UK, Belgium, Austria. Number 1 is always Canada for their quality of life.
Here's
and then
the thing.
Denmark.
I hate the cold so much. I really do. I know everyone's like, well, why do you live in Minnesota? And I'm not going to die here. She's into this. I like you guys a lot. This is really cool.
But
I like
I'm not
doing this job.
Die here.
But I won't die here.
Yeah.
I will not die in a cold place. All right, a lot of fun, uplifting stuff going on in the last 15 minutes. I want to say a very special good morning and thank you to all the supporters of the Moped Mafia. We saw you last night. Waving, honking, stopping time with your family to express to us your appreciation, helping to keep this city safe. We rode last night. I bet we put on 30 miles, Kat. We rode like we were free men.
Battery powered?
Yeah. Well, no, it's gas powered. Battery startup. But we rode like we were free men. Like we didn't have families. Mm-hmm. Like we didn't have kids just completely milking us dry financially, emotionally, and
sorry your
mentally.
Beautiful families hold you back so much.
You have no idea how exhausting the people in my life are right now. But we rode last night. And the Moped Mafia, here's the responsible part that we have to do. We have to show that we're around. You know what I mean? It keeps the city safe. And people feel better knowing that we're out there. So sometimes we got to go down streets that we don't necessarily want to, but we just have to show. You got to fly the flag, right?
No.
So my buddy Ray goes, you know where we've never been? I said, what? And he goes, the Midtown bar. And I said, what?
Oh, inside Midtown.
I did not know that there was a bar in town, a bar inside the Midtown Center there.
Sure, they have that nice little patio.
Yeah, right. And so we rolled up and we backed our mopeds in. And
backed them.
We always back. You got to show. You got to show. It's a show of force. And we get off together. And my friend Jay took off his fingerless gloves.
Stop this.
We all, yeah. And
it just gets worse. And
we walked in like we own the place. And we did. I don't think enough people know about this fun little bar. Great spot. Super clean.
Okay.
Welcoming atmosphere. Very well put together. Like really, really nice tabletops, chairs. We watched a couple innings of the Twins game, had a beer.
Well, there are events that are held there all the time.
But that's next door.
Yeah, but I mean, they'd have the bar open.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I didn't know there was a bar in there. And it's a really, really nice place. It was good to get out of the sun for a couple of minutes because we've been riding and protecting for so long that with the sun beating down on you like a cowboy crossing the plains.
No, our radio station did the opening of that bar.
Shut up. We did?
A welcome.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I didn't know it was there. And I just want to say to the proprietors, a very well put together situation.
Did you guys run into any issues last night? Because you find trouble wherever you go.
Well, no, we don't find trouble. A lot of time it calls to us. And we were riding in the St. Cloud State area. And I felt this sense that the community needed us. And so we went way back by the K-Lot, way far away from the National Hockey Center because I saw the cops. Back there.
Okay.
And as we rolled up and I offered my help, they quickly turned us away and said, "This is a training exercise. Get the hell out of here."
Okay.
And we said, "Oh, seems like I'd made that mistake more than once before."
Correct.
And I said, "You sure you don't need anything?" I said, "Yeah, get the hell out of here." And
get the hell out of here,
that was basically
you clown.
So I do want to express to everybody, if you saw us out last night and you gave us a nod, to other bikers that give us the little the keep your two wheels on the road symbol. Thank you for welcoming us into your environment as well. It's always good to be here.
I just can't take you seriously. Honest to God.
Moped Mafia. Out.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend.